can't see you.
Yeah.
You're being very sneaky over there. I will just mention.
Sorry.
You are watching another YouTube video
No,
during this YouTube
yeah,
video.
I'm trying to watch chess. It's very weird.
Anyway, we do need at some point to figure out how to turn this this live business onto a horizontal mode.
Yeah.
We've tried. Well, let's try quickly since you're already playing us. I'm gonna attempt to turn on horizontal mode. I think we're just gonna go sideways. So you guys.
Did you do this? Oh.
Oh.
Where is the?
I don't know. I don't know where's the thing. What are you looking for? This is not a good video. We'll do this later. Later. Anyway. Hello. Hi
Hello.
Corey. Hi Dad. Today we're going to be talking about a subject that is near and dear to our hearts. History time with wine. Why is it near and dear to our hearts? And what is our subject?
We're going to talk about one of the greatest kings in the national identity in France, which is Henry IV, which is great. Which is a great king.
What was Henry IV's best accomplishment?
His best accomplishment
was it?
He was born in Po, just like me.
Very important.
So he was born in a quite small town in the southwest of France, and he wasn't like supposed to be the king of France ever, but things made that he became a very good king for the population and made a lot of good things.
So Henry IV was born in 1553. So that's right in the middle of, you might think of as the Elizabethan era in the English-speaking world. It's kind of a contemporary of Elizabeth I in England. And he was born to be the heir to the throne of the Kingdom of Navarre.
Yeah.
You might not have heard of the Kingdom of Navarre. The Kingdom of Navarre no longer exists. We'll tell you why later on. But at the time, it was a small kingdom that was just on the border of what is now France and Spain. So like part of what was Navarre is now in France, part of what was Navarre is now in Spain. And it's in the Béarn region of France.
Yeah, like where I'm from.
So Henry IV ended up becoming king through a long and strange chain of events because there were three healthy young kings in line ahead of him. There was Francis II, who died young and childless around the age of 16. I think he was about 16 when he died, but very unexpectedly. There was Charles the Ninth, who was Francis's younger brother, who became king but died childless relatively young also. He was also known for being totally bonkers, one of the famous mad kings of France. And then there was their little brother, Henry III, who was also assassinated at a relatively young age while he was still childless. So although there were three young and relatively healthy people in line for kingship ahead of him, who might have been expected also to have children to really knock him out of the running, Henry IV did become king in the end.
While he was the 22nd cousin, he was like really not prepared to be king of France.
It would be kind of like if like Prince Edward or someone like one of Harry's sons became king of England today. It's someone who's not totally out there, but like really not expected. Hi Nicolette. And hi Krish. Welcome. So Henry IV, you might know him if you've seen a depiction of him. What you've probably seen is the character of Henry IV in the film La Reine Margot, Queen Margot. That's a very famous French film, and it's about his marriage to Marguerite of Valois, who was a sister of Francis Charles and Henry III. And you might also have heard of this marriage because it was the scene of the St. Bartholomew's Day massacre, where certain Catholic nobles massacred many Protestants and threw their bodies into the River Seine in Paris. I won't go too much into that today because I think we're going to do a full length video about that at
Yeah.
some point because it's just there's too much information to really go into that at the moment. Um, but that's where most people are familiar with Henry
Yeah.
IV. But we tonight are going to share with you guys a few fun facts about
Well,
Henry
fun.
IV.
At least facts.
I think they're fun.
Not all of them are fun.
He was born in a turtle.
No.
So we're going to share debatably fun facts with you guys. So, fact number one.
Fact number one: when he was born, his grandfather really wanted to have a boy in the family because he only had one daughter. The grandfather had only one daughter, which was Jeanne d'Albret.
Who was Henry IV's mother.
Yeah, and there were a lot of kind of not very nice people saying that he would never have a grandson. And so when eventually he was born, he like showed it to the world like a little like Lion King style. Like, ooh, I have a grandson. He was so happy, and he.
I'm picturing a very naked baby Henry IV and,
Yeah.
and possibly pees on everyone.
Yeah, he stayed naked a lot of time in his life.
Yeah,
we'll come to that
we'll come
later.
To that.
But so he was presented to the world. There's a very famous painting of that. And after that, he was put in a turtle shell, like a massive sea turtle, like the big ones.
We've seen it, by the way. It's in the chateau in Pau.
If you visit the castle in Pau, you still can visit it. It was like preserved during the revolution. It was like a crazy story.
And apparently there are strict instructions the chateau has given the fire department that if there was ever a fire at the chateau,
the first thing that the firefighter needs to save is this turtle shell. Yeah. But so he was put into that as a berceau, as
a baby basket,
as a
cradle.
baby basket, yeah, as a sign of longevity because sea turtles live very long,
and maybe in an attempt to make him Aquaman.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's say that. That's definitely true.
Yeah, and then he had kind of a ritual, but you're going to talk about that.
Well, so after the turtle shell, things continued along a very weird path because apparently a traditional Béarnaise baptism in the region was to baptize your baby with the things that babies always love, a mixture of Jurançon wine and raw garlic. I can only imagine that the babies love this and don't cry at all, like zero crying. Is this how you were baptized?
No, I don't think so.
We should talk to your parents.
Yeah,
about
we should add that.
Fixing that.
Things could have gone.
We could do a Béarnaise baptism for you. I think we should on the channel live.
We'll see.
So that was the traditional baptism of the region. So first, put in turtle shell. Second, dunked in wine. Third, smeared with raw garlic.
Yeah.
Fun times for Henry IV so far.
The other thing is that he was Protestant. Well, he switched a lot between Catholicism and Protestantism during his life.
Originally, he was born Protestant.
His father, I don't remember. His parents were Protestant, I think, but he was baptized Catholic.
Oh.
And then he was raised by his mother in the Protestant faith. And during his life, he switched like 6 times between Protestantism and Catholicism, which is quite a lot.
Yeah.
But when he
it's kind of like make up your mind.
Yeah. But when he became king, when he was eventually crowned, he was Protestant, and it was very hard for him to assess his authority as a king, because a lot of the cities in France didn't want, and a lot of the nobility didn't want a Protestant king. So he had like to do siege for a lot of cities in France to reconquer the country, and eventually didn't have any other choice that converting to Catholicism again. So the noble families accept him as a king.
It's like, I've already done this 4 times, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So related to this, so you guys who follow the channel, you may know that right now we're at Laurent's apartment.
Hello.
in the town of Chartres, which is about a little more than 1 hour outside Paris.
Yeah, like 90 kilometers.
And something that I learned literally today is that Henry IV was crowned outside of our window.
Yeah.
Basically, you can't see it right now. We were hoping to be able to show you guys, but they have not lit it up as they normally do. But the Chartres Cathedral is literally visible from our bedroom window, and that is where Henry IV was crowned. Henry IV was his coronation was held here in Chartres, which was super interesting and controversial. This may not sound like the most like dramatic detail, but there's another city about 1 hour from Paris also called Reims. How do you pronounce this city?
Reims.
Reims. In the city of Reims, there is the cathedral that is the traditional coronation location for all the kings of France. It is extremely important to the point where, like, Joan of Arc fought a lot of battles just to reconquer Reims, so that Charles the Eighth could be crowned there. Because if he wasn't crowned in Reims, he was not considered to be king. So it's very unusual that Henry IV chose to be crowned in Chartres. The reason for this was because
Reims was held by the Catholic nobility, and even if Henry IV was converted to Catholicism, he was not Catholic enough to be allowed to be crowned in Reims. So he had to find another place. And he thought of the Basilica of Saint Denis, where he had been converted.
That's the traditional burial place of all the kings of France.
Yeah, and it was too soon after his conversion. So actually, Chartres was one of the first cities he had conquered that were part of the supply lane from Paris. And so the cathedral was already very famous in all the European places, all the European history. So he decided to do the coronation in Chartres.
Now, see, this is what we learned doing research, but I have a second theory. And my theory is that he was trying to get to Reims, and he asked for a town that was called Reims, and therefore logically pronounced Reims. And he asked for Reims, and no one would tell him where the hell it was, because they insisted it had to be called Reims. That is my theory, and I think it is historically accurate. Anyway, after being crowned, we have a category in our notes that we've just written down as dick husband.
Yeah, he wasn't great as a husband.
He was not. So we talked about how he was married to Marguerite de Valois, and that's the basis of the story, the Reine Margot film, novel, famous story.
Yeah.
But he divorced her. Well, they agreed to a divorce. I think it was pretty mutual. They hated each other. It was not a happy marriage, and they did not have kids. And so he was able to annul the marriage and get the Pope to annul the marriage in favor of, I need to marry someone who can have kids with me, because obviously, like, she can't. Yeah. Maybe it had something to do with they hated each other so much they were like almost never in the same place. But we digress.
Yeah. So he had a political marriage with Marie de Medicis, and he didn't really like her either, because like he did like the marriage by procuration. He didn't even take the time to go.
That's when you can send someone to marry your future spouse for you in your name and be basically your stunt double. It's weird. It must have been very odd to be married to someone that you've literally never met. And when Marie de Medicis turned up in France, she was not impressed that he had not come to marry her, and also not impressed that he didn't even show up to meet her.
Yeah, so they didn't really like each other. She was known to be very, very jealous, and he was very well known to have a significant amount of mistresses.
We should throw in here that he did have 43 mistresses during his lifetime, and a number upwards of 12.
At least. Reference.
Yeah, illegitimate children.
Yeah. Extra from the 6th one he had with Marie de Medicis.
That's a lot of kids.
Way too much.
Way too many kids.
Yeah. Yeah. So not a great husband, and we're getting into that later.
So a little side fact, bonus fact, that I also just found when we were doing research for this video is that he was the inspiration for the character of
Oh,
King
so we have a
Ferdinand.
lot of comments.
Oh, we're not getting. Oh, hang on. We're not getting any comment updates on the phone that we're filming on.
Okay, we have some here. Some that are not very pertinent.
I see someone said, Can I get crowned too? I mean, we could try. It's
So,
very close. It would only take a couple minutes.
So I'm French, and Kara is from the south of the
Is
States.
someone asking where we're from?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not African. No.
Well,
Well, that I know.
it would be surprising if you were. So I'm going to continue on as you look through comments to reply to. So yes, so Henry IV was the inspiration for the character of King Ferdinand in Shakespeare's Love's Labour's Lost. So he pops up all over the place. Obviously, Shakespeare would have been writing at a time when Henry IV would probably have been alive. I'm not sure what year Love Labour's Lost was originally played in, because obviously Shakespeare didn't publish plays. He just wrote them and then gave them to the actors, and the actors played them. But I think it's pretty sure it would have been while Henry IV was alive, based on the time frame, which is an interesting choice by Shakespeare, because as we know, it is very risky to write a play about a living monarch. That's why we don't see a play by Shakespeare called Elizabeth I. It's not a great choice, so it must have been a very interesting character for Shakespeare to want to incorporate him into a play, even if he changed the name. Also, moving on to our final fun fact.
Yeah, well, the
less fun for him.
Yeah, the less fun for him. He was assassinated in 1610.
And this was the 12th assassination attempt on his life.
Yeah,
12.
He had a lot of problems.
Yeah, it's not good. Something's happening if 12 different people have tried to kill you. He was assassinated on the 14th of May, 1610 in Paris, and he was riding his carriage. It was the day after Marie de Médicis' coronation ceremony, so just after the Queen's coronation. And someone, which by the way, like, often happened well after the Queen was already Queen, because you didn't necessarily, like, as soon as the Queen marries the King, she does not have to be crowned. We see that in movies a lot, but it's not really a thing. So sometimes it's like, I'll crown you after you bear a son for me. I'll crown you after this. So this was after they've been married for a chunk of time.
She had like insisted a lot to legitimate her authority as the Queen if something happened to Henry IV, because he was going for war.
So the day after her coronation, Henry IV was riding his carriage through the streets of Paris. There was a lot of traffic because of the coronation, and someone pulled open the door, jumped into the carriage, and stabbed him.
Yeah, 3 times. Yeah, which was enough.
Which, yeah, it's maybe excessive, you could say.
Yeah.
3 stabbings is...
Like, 1 stabbing is already excessive.
Yeah,
but, yeah. And until now, there's not, like, really one explanation of who ordered that murder, or it's like a big plot. Like, there's several theories.
You described it to me earlier as the JFK of France.
Yeah, it's exactly that, because like there are so many reasons why he could have been murdered. Like, one of them is because Marie de Médicis, his wife, that wanted to be crowned. Just in case something happens to you, and just the next day he's stabbed. I mean, just like you discover your wife got a life insurance policy on you, and so weird. we know someone like that.
We actually know someone who's happened to. We should check on him.
But also, like, a big part of the nobility in France was, again, the fact that he was going on war to support Protestant princes in Austria against the Roman Emperor. So there was a lot of reasons why
Holy Roman
Emperor. Yeah.
That was still a thing, unlike the Roman Emperor that was very dead.
So there's a lot of reasons why he could have been murdered, and till now there's not like a solid answer why. We know what happened to him. The guy that Antoine de Ravaillac, the guy that stabbed him, had a really bad time. You can find about that in online. It was really bad. Now, But yeah, till now no one really knows what happened.
So that's the end of both Henry IV and tonight's story. Let's take a minute to just answer some comments. Are there any questions we want to throw in? Let's see. Okay, we're gonna go back to what you guys have been saying. I'm seeing hello. Oh, Nicolette says nice mustache.
Yeah, it's growing. It takes time, but it's growing. It's soon November. I'll be ready.
So we saw our friend Paul the other night, and Paul had a mustache, and Laurent had a full beard. Yeah. And then Laurent went backstage at the opera and came out with
mustache.
A mustache. That definitely wasn't just trying to copy Paul.
No.
No.
It's just because November is coming soon.
Let's see. Toao Godspeed says that no sounds like a sneeze.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. This is a big thing amongst like Anglophone expats that are living in France. Is why the hell is it spelled Reims and pronounced Rah? Like,
no.
What is that?
Yeah.
No. There's a lot of French pronunciations that I can get behind, but that is not one of them. And then we've got
a lot of newcomers in the channel.
A lot of newcomers. Welcome, newcomers. And it looks like a little bit of heckling, but you guys, thank you, Corey, for stepping up. You guys are the best. So yeah, that looks like it's about it for this evening. I want to say, I just want to throw in a little tidbit at the end here that today has not been like the nicest day for me because I had to deal with some like let's say unscrupulous employers in the circus world. Who would have believed it? But we were chatting earlier and we were like, do we want to do a live tonight? Like, is it just kind of, are we just in too down of a mood? And this has cheered me right up. So like, thank you guys. Like it really, it makes me really happy to like get on here and chat with you guys. And also to like, I feel in a lot of ways like it's really important to me to like keep up the video schedule because I know that like you guys look forward to them and it's kind of a little meetup every week. So yeah, thank you for that. You've cheered me right up. So yay, good. Anything from you?
No.
Are you glad we did Henry IV?
Yeah, it was great.
All right, and we will see you guys Monday for a video back at Everdeen.
Laurie is asking if
okay. Lori's asking, she says, unrelated to today's live, is your Patreon still up? I'm having issues. So our Patreon is definitely still up. I share the link to Patreon in the caption of every video. So if you just go down to the description of the video right below the video, the link is there. Lori, maybe if you want to write in the comment what your issues are, I will see if I can sort that out for you. Thank you for dealing with them and wanting to be a patron even with issues. So thank you for that. That is very much appreciated. Yeah, write in a comment what's going on and I'll get in touch. If anyone else wants to be a patron, we love our patrons so much. Thank you, patrons. You guys are amazing. And there's going to be, I'm working on, I know I'm slow as Christmas, but I'm working on a few little like extra patron treats that are coming very soon. One of them is just right over there behind me, but I can't show it to you yet. So, and very soon there will be some new patron stuff coming. Anyway.
Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe. And
we'll see you Monday for a video back at Everdeen working. I think on Monday we're working in the bedroom, the new bedroom that we're creating. Yeah. So we will see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.